How a cup of coffee changed the world. The amazing history of coffee. Beginner English audiobook.
Have you ever held a warm cup of coffee in your hands on a cold morning? Have you smelled the rich and pleasant aroma before taking your first sip? For millions of people around the world, coffee is more than a drink. It is a daily habit. It is a reason to meet friends. It is a quiet moment before work. It is a small break during a busy day. But have you ever stopped and asked yourself a simple question? How did one small cup of coffee become so important? How did it travel across mountains, deserts, and oceans? How did it influence business, culture, science, and even history? This is the story of coffee. It is the story of people, adventure, trade, and ideas. Is also the story of how one simple drink helped change the world. Long ago, in the beautiful highlands of East Africa, there was a place that is now called Ethiopia. The land was full of green hills, forests, and wild plants. Many people believe that coffee first grew there. The exact story is difficult to prove, but one famous legend has been told for hundreds of years. The legend says that a young goat herder named Kaldi noticed something unusual. One day, his goats became very active after eating bright red berries from a small tree. Instead of becoming tired at sunset, the goats jumped, ran, and played happily. Kaldi became curious. He picked some of the berries and carried them to a nearby monastery. The monks looked at the berries with surprise. At first, they did not trust them. One monk threw the berries into a fire because he believed they were strange. Soon, the room filled with a wonderful smell. The roasted beans smelled warm, sweet, and inviting. The monks quickly took the beans out of the fire. They crushed them and mixed them with hot water. They tasted the new drink. Soon, they discovered that it helped them stay awake during long hours of prayer. Whether this story is completely true or not, it has become one of the world's most famous legends. Coffee slowly spread from Ethiopia into the neighboring country of Yemen. There, farmers began growing coffee plants carefully. The mountains of Yemen had the right weather for coffee. The farmers worked hard to protect the plants because coffee became very valuable. People in Yemen learned many better ways to prepare coffee. They roasted the beans over fire, ground them into small pieces, and brewed them with hot water. The drink became popular among travelers, merchants, scholars, and religious leaders. The city of Mocha became one of the world's most famous ports for coffee. Ships left the harbor carrying bags of coffee beans across the seas. Even today, many people recognize the word mocha, although today it often describes coffee mixed with chocolate. The name originally came from this important trading city. As coffee spread through the Middle East, something interesting happened. Coffee houses began to appear in many cities. These places were much more than simple cafes.
People gathered inside to drink coffee, read books, discuss politics, share stories, listen to music, and play games. Merchants made business deals. Teachers shared knowledge with students. Travelers exchanged news from distant countries. Writers found inspiration. Friends laughed together. Some people even called these coffee houses schools of the wise. because they became places where ideas could grow. Before newspapers became common, many people learned about important events while sitting with a cup of coffee. Coffee was doing something unusual. It was bringing people together. Around the 16th century, coffee reached the great city of Istanbul. The city connected Europe and Asia. Traders from many different lands visited its busy markets every day. Coffeehouses quickly became popular. Beautiful cups, colorful carpets, and comfortable seats welcomed visitors. Men gathered to drink coffee, tell stories, play chess, and enjoy music. Not everyone liked this new drink. Some rulers worried that when people gathered together, they might talk about politics or criticize the government. At different times, some leaders even tried to close coffeehouses. But people loved coffee too much. Every time a coffeehouse closed, another one soon opened somewhere else. Coffee had already become part of daily life. From the Middle East, coffee traveled into Europe. At first, many Europeans had never seen coffee before. Some people thought the dark drink looked strange. Others were afraid to try it. There is a famous story that when coffee first arrived in Italy, some people believed it was a dangerous drink because it came from distant lands. According to the story, religious leaders asked the Pope to decide. The Pope tasted the drink himself. Instead of rejecting it, he enjoyed it very much. Whether every detail of this story is true or not, coffee soon became popular throughout Italy and many other European countries. Coffeehouses appeared in London, Paris, Vienna, Amsterdam, and other growing cities. These European coffeehouses became exciting places. Business owners met customers. Scientists discussed new discoveries. Artists shared creative ideas. Writers planned books. Philosophers debated important questions. People sometimes called English coffeehouses penny universities. The reason was simple. A person could buy a cup of coffee for 1 penny and join intelligent conversations that might teach valuable lessons. In many ways, coffeehouses became classrooms without walls. As trade grew, coffee became one of the world's most valuable products. Ships crossed oceans carrying coffee beans from one continent to another. Merchants earned large profits. Ports became busier. New trade routes developed. European countries wanted to grow coffee themselves instead of buying it from others. They secretly carried coffee plants to different colonies around the world. Soon, coffee farms appeared in parts of Asia, Africa, the Caribbean, Central America, and South America. Growing coffee was not easy. Farmers needed healthy soil, enough rain, warm temperatures, and great patience. Coffee trees take several years before producing many cherries. Each coffee cherry usually contains 2 beans. Workers carefully pick the ripe cherries by hand because not every cherry becomes ripe at the same time. After picking, the cherries must be processed quickly. The fruit is removed and the beans are cleaned and dried. Later, the beans are roasted. During roasting, the green beans slowly turn brown. This process creates the wonderful smell that coffee lovers recognize immediately. Finally, the roasted beans are ground and brewed into the drink that millions of people enjoy every day. Behind every cup of coffee stands the hard work of countless people. Farmers plant the trees, workers care for the fields, harvesters pick the cherries, drivers transport the beans, roasters prepare them, shop owners sell them, baristas carefully make each cup. A simple cup of coffee represents teamwork across many countries. Coffee also influenced science and learning. During earlier centuries, many people often drank beer or wine because clean drinking water was not always available. These drinks sometimes made people sleepy. Coffee offered something different. It helped people stay awake and alert. Students studied longer. Writers worked later into the night. Business owners planned new ideas. Scientists spent more time experimenting. Some historians believe coffee quietly supported the growth of science, business, and education during important periods of history. While coffee alone did not create great discoveries, it certainly gave many hardworking people extra energy to continue their work. Coffee also changed the economy. Today, coffee is one of the world's most traded agricultural products. Millions of families depend on coffee farming for their income. Entire towns and communities earn their living through coffee production. However, coffee farming also brings challenges. Farmers face changing weather, plant diseases, and changing market prices. Some years are successful, other years are very difficult. Because of these challenges, many people support programs that encourage fair trade. These programs try to help farmers receive better prices for their hard work and improve the lives of their families. When people buy coffee, they often think only about the taste. Yet behind every cup is a long journey that may have started thousands of miles away. The story of coffee reminds us that even the smallest daily habit connects us with people we may never meet. Every morning, somewhere in the mountains, a farmer may already be caring for coffee trees. Somewhere else, workers may be drying beans under the warm sun. At the same time, ships, trucks, and trains may be carrying coffee across countries and oceans. Finally, someone pours hot water over freshly ground coffee, and another ordinary day begins. But this ordinary cup has an extraordinary history. As coffee became more popular, it continued to influence history in surprising ways. During the 17th and 18th centuries, many important meetings happened in coffeehouses. People did not gather there only to enjoy a warm drink. They gathered to exchange ideas. They talked about business, science, art, education, and politics. Many people believe that some of the world's greatest ideas began during simple conversations over coffee. A businessman might meet a future partner. A writer might hear a story that inspired a new book. A scientist might explain a new discovery to curious listeners. One conversation could lead to another, and new ideas continued to spread. In England, some coffeehouses became famous for serving different groups of people. One coffeehouse was popular with ship owners and merchants. They discussed trade, shipping, and business risks. Over time, these meetings helped create new ways to insure ships and valuable goods. Another coffeehouse attracted writers, publishers, and readers. New books and newspapers were often discussed there before they became widely known. Coffeehouses slowly became places where people could learn without attending a school. A person could sit quietly, listen carefully, and leave with new knowledge. This simple habit helped spread information to many people. Coffee also traveled with explorers and traders. Ships crossed dangerous oceans carrying coffee beans, plants, and farming knowledge. New coffee farms appeared in countries with warm climates. Brazil became one of the world's largest coffee producers. Colombia also became famous for growing high-quality coffee. Countries in Central America, Africa, and Asia developed their own coffee traditions. Each region produced coffee with a different flavor because of its soil, weather, and farming methods. Some coffees tasted sweet. Others had fruity or nutty flavors. Some were rich and strong, while others were smooth and light. This variety made coffee even more interesting. Growing coffee required patience. A coffee tree does not produce fruit immediately. Farmers must care for young trees for several years before they can harvest many cherries. During this time, they protect the plants from insects, diseases, and bad weather. Too much rain can damage the crop. Too little rain can also create problems. When harvest season arrives, many workers carefully pick only the ripe cherries. This work often takes many hours because each tree contains cherries at different stages of growth. The workers return again and again until all the ripe fruit has been collected. After harvesting, the beans begin another important journey. They are cleaned, dried, sorted, packed, and shipped around the world. Some beans travel thousands of miles before reaching a coffee shop or supermarket. By the time someone enjoys a single cup of coffee, the beans may have passed through many different hands. Coffee also became part of many family traditions. In some countries, guests are welcomed with a cup of coffee as a sign of friendship and respect. Families gather around the table to drink coffee together while talking about their day. Friends meet at cafes to celebrate birthdays, discuss plans, or simply enjoy each other's company. In Ethiopia, where coffee first grew naturally, a traditional coffee ceremony remains an important cultural custom. Preparing the coffee is not rushed. The beans are roasted, ground, and brewed while guests watch. The process encourages conversation, kindness, and patience. The ceremony reminds everyone that sharing time together can be just as valuable as drinking the coffee itself. In Italy, people often enjoy a quick cup of espresso while standing at a cafe counter. The drink is small but strong. Many people stop for only a few minutes before continuing with their day. This simple habit has become part of everyday life. In Turkey, coffee has long been connected with hospitality and tradition. Turkish coffee is prepared slowly in a small pot and served in small cups. Friends and family often spend time talking long after they finish drinking. The experience is about enjoying company as much as enjoying the coffee. In many parts of Latin America, coffee farms have been passed from one generation to another. Parents teach their children how to care for the trees and harvest the cherries. Coffee farming becomes more than a job. It becomes a family tradition built on knowledge and experience. During the Industrial Revolution, coffee became even more important. Factories, offices, and businesses required workers to stay alert for long hours. Many people began drinking coffee during breaks to help them remain focused. Offices soon placed coffee pots where workers could gather for a short rest before returning to their tasks. These short coffee breaks became valuable. They allowed workers to relax, talk with one another, and solve problems together. Even today, many businesses recognize that informal conversations during a coffee break can lead to creative ideas and stronger teamwork. Coffee also became closely connected with writers, artists, musicians, and students. Many famous authors enjoyed writing while drinking coffee. Some believed that coffee helped them think clearly and organize their ideas. Artists often visited cafes where they could observe people, discuss creativity, and find inspiration for paintings, poems, and stories. Students around the world also turned to coffee while preparing for important examinations. Although coffee cannot replace good study habits or enough sleep, Many students appreciate the extra feeling of alertness that coffee can provide. Scientists have carefully studied coffee for many years. Coffee contains caffeine, a natural substance that affects the brain and nervous system. For many healthy adults, moderate amounts of coffee can increase alertness and improve concentration for a short time. However, experts also remind people that too much caffeine may cause nervousness, trouble sleeping, or a fast heartbeat. Every person reacts differently. Some people can drink several cups without difficulty, while others feel the effects after only one cup. Like many things in life, balance is important. Coffee also teaches us an interesting lesson about economics. The price of coffee changes for many reasons. Weather conditions, transportation costs, supply, demand, and world events all influence the market. If a drought damages coffee farms, fewer beans may be available, causing prices to rise. If farmers produce an excellent harvest, prices may fall because more coffee is available. Because millions of people drink coffee every day, even small changes in production can affect businesses around the world. Investors, traders, farmers, cafe owners, and customers all pay attention to these changes. Modern technology has also changed coffee. Today, people can buy beans from countries they may never visit. Online stores allow customers to learn where their coffee was grown and even read about the farmers who produced it. Coffee machines can prepare drinks with the touch of a button, while skilled baristas continue creating beautiful designs in the foam using steamed milk. Some cafes have become quiet places where people read books, study languages, or work on computers. Others are lively gathering places filled with music and conversation. Although these cafes look different from the coffeehouses of hundreds of years ago, they continued the same tradition of bringing people together. Coffee has also inspired creativity in cooking. People use coffee to prepare cakes, cookies, chocolates, ice cream, and many desserts. Chefs experiment with coffee in sauces and special recipes. The rich flavor adds something unique that many people enjoy. At the same time, scientists and farmers are thinking about the future of coffee. Climate change creates new challenges for coffee-growing regions. Rising temperatures, changing rainfall, and new plant diseases may reduce future harvests in some places. To solve these problems, researchers are studying stronger coffee plants that can survive difficult conditions. Farmers are also learning new ways to protect the environment while growing healthy crops. Many use shade trees, careful water management, and sustainable farming methods to protect the land for future generations. Consumers can also make thoughtful choices. By supporting companies that value fair working conditions and environmentally responsible farming, people help encourage better practices throughout the coffee industry. Every purchase sends a small message about the kind of world we want to support. Perhaps the greatest lesson from coffee is not about the drink itself. It is about connection. A single cup links many people together. It connects the farmer who planted the tree with the worker who harvested the cherries. It connects the truck driver, the ship captain, the warehouse employee, the coffee roaster, the cafe owner, and the person who carefully prepares the final drink. When you hold a warm cup of coffee, you are holding the result of teamwork that stretches across continents. Coffee also reminds us that simple ideas can have extraordinary influence. Long ago, no one could have imagined that a wild plant growing in the forests of Ethiopia would become one of the world's most loved drinks. No one could have predicted that coffeehouses would encourage conversations leading to business partnerships, scientific discoveries, artistic inspiration, and lifelong friendships. History is often shaped by kings, queens, presidents, and famous leaders. Yet sometimes history is also shaped by ordinary people sharing ordinary moments. A conversation over coffee may inspire a new invention. A meeting at a cafe may begin a successful business. A student studying with a cup of coffee may become tomorrow's scientist, teacher, doctor, or engineer. Small moments can lead to great changes. The next time you see a cup of coffee, remember that it is much more than a beverage. It carries the story of ancient forests, brave travelers, hardworking farmers, busy ports, growing cities, curious students, creative artists, and millions of everyday people whose lives have been connected through one remarkable drink. Coffee crossed mountains, deserts, rivers, and oceans. It traveled through different languages, cultures, and generations. It became part of celebrations, quiet mornings, business meetings, family traditions, and lifelong friendships. Its journey continues every single day. Perhaps the world changed because people drank coffee. Or perhaps the world changed because coffee gave people a reason to sit together, listen carefully, share ideas, solve problems, and dream about a better future. Whatever the answer may be, one thing is certain. The story of coffee is really the story of people. In every new cup begins another chapter.